Hey there, it's Ashley. Today I wanted to do a video response to the Violet Cat. She had a video, and I will include the link down in the little information section to that video, where she was discussing a feeling of home and what that really felt to her, what she sensed, and yeah, so this is a video response. So basically, I have felt what you have felt, Kat, and for me it's not quite the same. Whenever I revisit the area that I grew up in Cleveland, Ohio, there's a sense of familiarity and a sense of I don't know, a connection to it, but I don't like the feeling of the city. I don't like, and I'm not saying that every city is bad, I'm just saying when I walk through Cleveland, I just feel depressed. It's like, I don't know, it's just, I've never felt more depressed and forlorn and just feeling like giving up than I do when I am in Cleveland. I have been in other areas around Cleveland and I haven't felt that. For example, I live in Parma and I never got that feeling. But Cleveland is, it might be my personal experiences coloring that. It could be just, the coloring. I mean, everything's just gray and gloomy and broken down, boarded up, at least the areas that I visit. I've been in the nicer areas, where, the mayor would have their little mini mansion or whatever. And those areas are nice, and they are not as depressed as the areas that I'm talking about anyway. And though I feel a connection to it, I don't like the feeling involved. There are places that I go to where I get that feeling. One is my aunt's house. I lived with her for several years, and then ever since I was in, I don't know, maybe first, second grade, she's lived in the same house. And whenever I get to the Madison area, it's just a breath of fresh air. And when we get down, not so much her street, but once we hit the gravel leading up to the driveway, that's when I smile. And there's just a sense of belonging. But for me, it really hits not so much the space outside, but when I walk in the door. When I walk in the door and I feel comfortable in that area, the first thing I will do is just take a deep breath, and it's like I'm breathing in the energies of that house. And if I don't feel comfortable, I don't do that. And for me, it's more of a feeling of familiarity, being comfortable, welcoming, at peace, relaxed, and I don't know, those are just what I associate with being home. I have felt that in one of my apartments that I lived in, my first one with my roommates Anthony and Josh, but I did not feel that so much in my second apartment with a different girl, Cheyenne. I don't necessarily feel that here, where I am right now. I'm always really tense here. There's always like this negative underlying energy throughout the whole house. And it's not negative energy that you would think like dark and just wanting everyone to fail, but more like depressed, never seeing, like having no hope. It's like a hopeless sort of sensation. And I don't agree with it. I don't like it. And I've done everything I could to dispel that. But since the person omitting it is not changing his ways, there's not much I can do but just kind of cope with it and roll with it. But yeah, so that is pretty much how I see it. And I didn't mention this before, but I'm a person where scents are very important. When I go into the city and I take a deep breath, I know which part of the city I'm in. Every house I've ever been in has a very distinctive scent to it. Not in a bad way, although some of them kind of, if there's a lot of dogs or cats, or just, not cleaned properly, yes, but every house, even in its cleanest form, has its own personal scent. Just like every person has their own personal scent. And if that scent does not mesh with me, then I'm probably not gonna like the house. Doesn't matter what happens in it. But scent has always been very, very important, and I never really realized it until I started, playing around with things like incense and choosing specific scents at the store. Like those little aerosol ones that you're supposed to spray through the house to make it smell good. And yeah, those aren't exactly good for the environment, but I do use those. I do get them at the dollar store if I can. We have a dog, and she can get a little ripe sometimes, I gotta tell you. And it's nice to kind of just a quick spray throughout the house of lavender and vanilla, my favorite scent, or maybe lily or something. Like it. It's different, freshens things up. But I like incense better. So, yeah. I don't think I really have anything else to add, but for me, my sense of being home is just being comfortable, relaxed, welcome, knowing that I will not be thrown out for, a superfluous reason, that all is right. Just a very good vibe to it. And I've gotten that in places where I haven't lived. I've lived in places where I haven't had it, and places where I have. And it's a personal thing that, you have to feel out. When you walk in and you're looking at a new apartment and you're considering moving in, that feeling you get when you walk through that apartment is very important. I lucked out. The apartment that I felt very at home in, I actually wasn't there to look at the apartment. I was in Madison and didn't have transportation to go and see it. My two roommates were not supposed to actually take the apartment. They were only supposed to look at it and then let me know what they thought, and then I could schedule a time to come out and view it, so to speak. And it was in high demand, so they took it the day they saw it and then told me about it an hour later. So but out of the three, I think I felt more at home in that apartment than they actually did, which I thought was strange. But yeah, so that's all I have to say. Talk to you later. Whoops, pressed the wrong button.